What would that even look like for Verbobonc if the gnomes actually did that?
It would be a huge blow. They rely on the gnomes not just for their skills, but for their stability.
Right.
Imagine the chaos if the gnomes decided to, say, go on strike
Oh,
or shift their trade routes to a rival city.
yeah.
Verbobonc's economy would be crippled.
That's a power move.
It,
So we've got all this tension building up, potentially boiling over into economic warfare.
yeah.
But before we get too lost in the gnomes and their grievances, okay, let's zoom out for a second. What's life actually like for the everyday person living in Verbobonc with all this going on around them?
Right.
I can only imagine the stories you'd hear in the taverns.
I bet.
I can only imagine the stories you'd hear in the taverns of Verbobonc.
Oh, I know, right?
Like, did you hear? The gnomes are going to make a trade alliance with somebody else. Drinks are on me if they do it.
It's so interesting how everyday life mixes with all this important political stuff.
Right.
And speaking of everyday life, you have to remember that Verbobonc has this really strict social structure.
Yeah, right.
Titles actually matter here. They're not just for show.
You pointed that out. You highlighted that little thing about how they address their leaders.
Right.
Viscount, Lord Mayor, even the Prince of the Gnomes. It makes you wonder how much those titles actually affect how people interact every day.
Yeah.
Like, are people bowing and scraping all the time?
Well, what the sources say is that there's like this deep respect for authority built into the culture of Verbobonc.
No.
Remember that saying you mentioned? Hard work keeps the demons away.
Oh, yeah. Like their version of keep calm and carry on.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it kind of shows you their mindset.
Yeah.
You work hard, you show respect, you keep your head down, and maybe you don't get caught up in the next political disaster or demon attack.
So a good bit of pragmatism mixed with a little don't tempt fate.
Yeah.
But while everybody's busy keeping the demons away,
Right.
let's not forget about the bigger picture here. Verbobonc has some powerful neighbors who seem a little too interested in what's going on.
They do.
Furiondi and Voluna.
Oh, yeah.
They're not just keeping an eye on things. They're practically breathing down Verbobonc's neck.
Absolutely.
It's like a geopolitical staring contest.
Yeah.
Except somebody might actually send an army.
Right.
What makes Verbobonc so appealing to these neighbors anyways? Is it just a classic case of more land equals more power?
It's more than that. It's not just about grabbing land. Verbobonc is in a really strategic location. Remember,
Right.
it's a major trade hub, and it's perfectly positioned. If Furiondi or Voluna could control Verbobonc, it would give them a real edge over the other one.
So it's all about who gets to control those trade routes.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about Furiondi and Voluna maybe trying to take over Verbobonc,
Yeah.
how strong are Verbobonc's defenses?